It is estimated that modern humans arrived and inhabited the Indian subcontinent about 70,000 years ago. They arrived in Southeast Asia around 60,000 years ago and then proceeded north to occupy northern East Asia and Japan. Over time, civilizations bloomed and flourished. One of the particular civilizations is the Chinese. The Chinese was the oldest, largest, and richest civilization in the world. During the Song dynasty, they used paper money, tea, gunpowder, compasses, and printing. All over Asia, wild animals were being tamed and domesticated. Pigs were tamed from wild boars 11,000 to 13,000 years ago. Sheep were tamed from wild mufflon 11,000 to 13,000 years ago. And chickens were domesticated 7,000 years ago from Southeast Asia and quickly spread to India and China. On the other hand, camels were domesticated 3,500 years ago, while horses were domesticated 6,000 years ago in modern-day Kazakhstan. A variety of plants were also domesticated. In the Fertile Crescent, wild grass were domesticated to wheat and barley. In Central and West Asia, plants such as alfalfa, almonds, asparagus, clover, dates, and garlic were domesticated. As for East, South, and Southeast Asia, fruits such as bananas, apples, lemons, cherries, coconuts, and mangoes were domesticated.
In ancient Asia, the use of horses, oxen, and camel were used to transport people and goods. The use of these animals revolutionized both transportation and warfare. In Southeast Asia, new boat-building technologies and new navigational techniques were being created in the 5th and 6th centuries, allowing people to start migrating into the Pacific Ocean until about 1500 years ago. Boats were also used to transport goods along trade networks. The Metropolitan Museum website states, trade routes were the communications highways of the ancient world. New inventions, religious beliefs, artistic styles, languages, and social customs, as well as goods and raw materials, were transmitted by people moving from one place to another to conduct business. The most commonly known trade network is the Silk Road. It links East Asia and Western Europe at a time when each has, in its own region, a more sophisticated commercial network than ever before.
There are lots of pros into traveling the Silk Roads of Asia, but there are several cons that go along with it too. One of the cons of the Silk Roads would be, according to About the Silk Road, pirates were another risk faced by all merchant ships along the maritime Silk Roads, as their lucrative cargoes made them attractive targets. Also, Zhang He has also experienced coming across pirates. Even though he had easily defeated them, they were still a con and threat into the Silk Road. According to About the Silk Road, lack of drinking water was also a huge threat to sailors. Water, as we all know it, is critically crucial for humans. Another con to the Silk Road for Asia would be that, according to Silk Road, the Black Death plague that devastated Europe in the 14th century is believed to come via the Silk Road from Central Asia, where the plague is endemic among local rodents. That does not sound like a pro if you ask me. The long-distance trade can have unexpectedly bad side effects, as well as direct beneficial effects. A pro such as being able to have access to, according to About the Silk Roads, road, textiles, spices, grains, vegetables and fruit, animal hides, tools, woodwork, metalwork, religious objects, artwork, precious stones, and much more were introduced. According to Culture of the Silk Road, the Chinese four great inventions, papermaking, printing, gunpowder, and compasses, as well as the skills of silkworm breeding and silk spinning were transmitted to the West. This greatly sped up the development of the entire world.
With the discovery of the Columbian age, the New World was able to trade with the Old World. The New World brought maize, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, various squashes, chilies, and cassava to the Old World. Many of these plants would become essential for a healthy diet to Asians, Europeans, and Africans. Three of the most important crops from the New World were potatoes and corn. One of the biggest things that changed about Asia after the Columbian exchange was that it pushed countries like China to farm more. Before these new crops, the land in China wasn't very suitable for farming, but the new crops from America turned their soil into farmable land. Because of this, millions of people became farmers. Sweet potatoes became especially important to people who lived in monsoon islands through Asia, as it was a very healthy addition to their diets. It also allowed for their population to rapidly increase. Between the Columbian exchange and the 18th century, China's population doubled. Now, China is the second largest producer of corn and the largest producer of potatoes.